This is my new apartment, and I have absolutely no furniture to my name other than this fridge and a tiny little table. I was going to buy a bunch of furniture, build it, and live fairly comfortably, but then I realized I had to make videos in order to make the money to buy that furniture. It's a bit of a predicament. I've decided to merge that predicament with the videos I would be creating and came up with the idea to furnish my bedroom, my flat, through playing Old School RuneScape. Not by real world trading, but instead by using the in-game and real life prices of Old School bonds to convert my GP into money that I can spend on furniture. Let's say, for example, I wanted to buy a wardrobe for £400. Using Old School bonds as a conversion rate, it's about 80p for 1 million GP. So I would have to make 500 million GP in order to buy my £400 wardrobe. And I can store the GP that I've spent, hypothetically, in, let's say, the Nightmare Zone coffer. This is going to be a tough grind because my rented room is pretty large. It's the largest space I've ever had in my entire life. And I'm starting from nothing, well, except a fridge and a tiny little table. I've got no desk, so how am I going to set up my computer? I'm not entirely sure. Probably by just using my laptop on the tiny table. And I have no bed. I've got a sleeping bag on the floor. And that'll be my bed for the foreseeable future. I'm going to need billions of GP in order to get a decent bed and furnish this large room. I created a little space I can work in, added my little table, stuck my laptop on top of it, added a cheeky little pillow for comfort. Time to load up RuneLite and make some money on Old School RuneScape. It's about time. Most of the time I've spent on RuneScape during my hiatus from YouTube videos has been here at the Blood Rune crafting area. It's a pretty good AFK moneymaker, but I need to do something real. This list on the wiki shows the best moneymakers in the game, but I have a trackpad and no space for a mouse on my tiny table, so I can't do most of these moneymakers. After an incredibly comfortable sleep on the floor, I did go and try out the hollowed Hollowed sepulcher? I don't know. You are about to enter the hollowed sepulcher. Dying is not safe. Oh, damn. Oh, come on. Oh, you bastard. Cock. No! Fuck. How did I do this? Fuck. It didn't go very well. Using a trackpad sitting in this hemorrhoid-laden position makes it very difficult. This is honestly so hard on the floor. I can't get past floor 3. It keeps locking on me. I gave up on the sepulcher. I'll come back to it eventually when I've got a better setup. For now, because I've got such a bad setup, I can't really do anything except AFK activities, so rune crafting it is. Look how painful it is just to click on a chisel and essence on a trackpad. Fortunately for me, my roommate who I've moved in with has second-hand furniture he's willing to sell me on the cheap to get me started. There's this black stool which has storage space inside which I desperately need for only £10 and a table for £20. Bonus fact, this weird smiley creep is also the guy who makes thumbnails sometimes. I desperately needed something to sit on before I got a Pile sponsorship, so I cleaned out my bank. It was almost full, it was almost 816 out of 816, it's now half that, and I sold some blood runes. I'm going to buy that stool. So my plan was to build the tip jar in my playground house and use that to store my gold that I've spent, but for whatever reason I can't donate to myself. Wow. Seems a bit dumb. So I'm using the Nightmare Zone coffer instead. In order to spend £10 on a stool to sit on, I must deposit 12.5 million GP. That is the exchange rate using Old School bonds. An Old School bond costs £4 UK pounds, and you can sell it for 5 million GP. So £4 equals 5 million GP. That means 1 million GP equals 0.8 pounds. So I just divide any money I want to spend in real life by 0.8, and that's the value that I need to deposit in RuneScape. And there we go. 12.5 mil that we've made from our rune crafting escapades deposited in the coffer. Let's go get our stool. Don't mind me. Here's £10. I'm just gonna take, oh my. What is in this thing? It's heavy. Oh, for fuck's sake. It may not look like much, but I went from this tiny little set with a pillow to having a stool to sit on. Hemorrhoids averted. Can you just take this out of my basket now? Idea. If I get 95 Slayer, I can complete the Karen Elite Diary and get more blood runes for when I'm doing blood runes. I could just eat a wild pie, get the Slayer levels, and complete the diary, but since I began playing Old School RuneScape, I've been against using boost for the most part. A part of completing RuneScape, if that's even possible, is getting 99 in every single stat. Why don't I just get the levels anyway? I'm going to have to eventually, right? Also, just training Slayer gets me out of doing rune crafting, which I'm getting a little bit sick of right now. Look at all those blood runes. runes. Let's sell them. 65 million GP from those blood runes. AFK rune crafting's paid off. I've got a 75 mil cash stack and about a 650 mil GP bank. Nice. Hopefully this Slayer grind increases the bank value. That's a cracking task completed. Oh, a hard clue scroll. I think I can get a master clue scroll now. 2 kill count on the thermonuclear smoke devil. I'm becoming a PVM god. And just like all PVMers in RuneScape, I'm getting a crooked back with my setup. Look at the angles here. The stool is higher up than the desk. I'm depositing 25 mil so I can spend 20 bucks on my roommate's spare table. £20, here you go. Nice helmet. Okay, I guess I'll just grab it. Oh, it's heavy. With this upgrade, my back goes from being extremely crooked to a bit less crooked. With 2 tables and a stool, this is my new setup. It looks alright. It's getting there. Dragon Harpoon, those things used to be worth actual money. Now, Ruined Dragons is a Slayer task I can get behind. If you get like 60 Ruined Dragons in a Slayer task, that's like 2 million GP. Each Ruined Dragon kill is worth about 34k GP on average. Mithril Dragons, though, you can get to fuck. Doing Ruined Dragons on a trackpad, by the way, was a huge pain in the ass, so I think it's time to get a mousepad. Believe it or not, my roommate actually has a spare mousepad that's made of metal, which is incredibly important, and you'll find out why in a minute. And before you go to the comments typing, "Oh, did you buy it for your roommate? I don't believe it." The furniture is genuinely spare, that I genuinely pay for real cash and the RuneScape price as well. I'm giving him £5 for the mousepad, which is 6.25 million GP. We have 37.5 mil, let's deposit the 6.25 in our inventory. So I've got this jar of change, and I'm gonna pay for the mousepad with this. I think there's a £5 in there. He doesn't know. He won't have to know. Or just put this right here, quietly. Yep, sound asleep, no problem. Just take this mousepad. Oh, shit, I made... No, I was only kidding. What the fuck? This is why I needed a metal mouse mat. With the small table I use, there's not enough space for the laptop and the mouse to sit comfortably. But the metal mouse mat can go over the edge, and it still works. It's not all floppy. 209 lizardmen. I can do shamans now. I've got a mouse. I can actually click on things. For whatever reason, I actually quite like doing the lizardman shamans, even after the blowpipe nerf, which you can definitely feel here because I don't have a cannon to help me out. I'm just blowpiping them. Now that I've got a mouse, I'm a little bit more confident. I've been doing the boss variants of Slayer task, like the Black Dragon, the King Black Dragon. Turns out though, the King Black Dragon, the boss, the dragon with 3 heads, is less loot than the Brutal Black Dragons that are easier to kill, AFKable, and have only 1 head. Next task, Brutal Black Dragons. Hey, dragon limbs, all this dragon slaying, Oziak would be proud.
You useless sod. Get me out of this place.
Using an actual mouse instead of a trackpad, Slayer became quicker, easier, more profitable, and we got 94 Slayer. 1 more level to go. I was lying in floor last night when I came to the realization that I should probably buy a cheeky little upgrade. Pegasian boots. I'm going to need these in the future if I'm going to do a bunch of bossing to make a bunch of money, and they'll help me get 95 Slayer too. In the short term it slows me down getting a desk, but in the long term it'll be very useful. If you're wondering how I sleep on the floor, it's not just a sleeping bag on the ground. It's actually a bit more complex. I have a bunch of camping gear from when I was a little bit younger and a little bit thinner, so I throw my 2 sleeping mats on the ground. One of them is like a yoga mat, the other is a blow-up one, but it has a hole, so it's not that great. Then I throw my sleeping bag, which is pretty comfortable, on top of those. Then my bed sheet, then my duvet and pillows, and it looks fairly comfortable. I've actually began to get used to it. It's not too uncomfortable. A Brutal Black Dragons task, 25k per kill, about 50 kills per task if extended, 1.25 million GP per task. This is a screenshot of my bank value from earlier in the video, 652 mil, and this is what it's at now. I've been losing money. I've been doing nothing but make money, but because of the market, I've been losing money. That's not great if I wanted to sell a bunch of items in order to buy a bed or buy a desk. My bank value just keeps going down, even though I keep making money. However, that's out of my control. The only thing I can do is keep trying to grind for a bunch of GP and hope for the best. But if my bank keeps going down, I might have to resort to this. Some kid's furniture that's got chucked out. Look at this. I was looking around for a cheap computer chair on Amazon because although I'm sitting on a box, a black box, it's not that great still. It's not the floor, it's better than the floor, but it's still hemorrhoiding juicing. So I want to upgrade my computer chair. The downside is this lightning deal only lasts 11 more hours. If I bought this chair, it would cost me £36, so I would need to deposit 45 million GP. But I've only got 14 mil in cash, and I don't want to sell any of my valuable items due to the market being crap right now. It would be a major loss. So if I want to upgrade my seating arrangement for as low as possible, I need to make 31 million GP in 11 hours. I took a look at the Old School Wiki's money-making list to find out which moneymaker I should do, and Vorkath stood out as the best one. It doesn't rely on rare drops in order to get a high GP per hour. It's roughly 2.8 million GP per hour, which means in 11 hours I get over 30 million GP, which is exactly what I need. The Dragon Hunter Lance is apparently the fastest way to kill the dragon, so that's exactly what we're gonna do. Poke it to death. Many times. For 11 hours. It's been so long since I've done Vorkath, like really long. 3 years since I made the Vorkath 9 till 5 video, and I don't think I've done it since. Not really. Here we go. Kill number 1. Hopefully I don't die. That would be embarrassing. I wonder if I've retained any muscle memory, although if I recall correctly, before when I done Vorkath I didn't have a Dragon Hunter Lance because they were insanely expensive. Oh no. I don't know how to Wooks Walk yet. Maybe I should learn it. Hey, there's our first kill, and we got a decent drop. Battle staves. It took 4 minutes, geez. I've run out of food after only 2 kills, which isn't ideal. I need to get 3 or 4 kills per trip, and I need to get the kills quick, not in 4 minutes. I'm on a time limit here. I gotta be faster, and better, and stronger. My first attempt at the Wooks Walk, I stepped on the poison, but then, at the very end of the poison phase, I got 1 hit in, 1 attack. Progress. That time was the same as my PB. We're making progress, warming back up. This is it, I'm doing it. I've done it. I can Wooks Walk. It's a bit slow, but better safe than sorry. I still need to practice it. Hey, I got a new PB with the amateur Wooks Walk. And speaking of amateur, first death though, another 10 seconds shaved off. We've slain 50 Vorkaths and the loot tab is worth 20 million GP. There was some Slayer stuff in there from before, but most of it is from the Vorkath loot. A new personal best. This is the setup I'm using to do Vorkath hour after hour after hour to try and get this computer chair. There's 30 minutes left on this deal. The loot tab is 28 mil plus 12 mil. That's 40 million GP. I need 45 million GP. With 30 minutes remaining, I decided to try and squeeze in a couple more Vorkath trips just to bump up the loot tab a little bit more. It then occurred to me that I had to spend a couple of million GP on supplies for doing this massive Vorkath grind, and I can sell the leftovers for a couple of million GP. After selling everything I had in the loot tab and some junk lying around in the bank and the supplies I used for Vorkath that were left over, I had 43 million GP left, and in a last ditch effort to get the 45 mil, I teleported to my playground house, originally planning to go to the Carolium volcano, whatever it is called, to use these keys to open the chest, but I remembered there's a coffer in this house. There's a servant's coffer, and it just happened to have 2.8 mil in it. Luckily, it left over from when I was training a bunch of construction, probably about a year ago. So, I took out 2 million GP from that, and conveniently, just before the timer's up on the deal, I have 45 million GP. Depositing into the Nightmare Zone coffer, it already has 43 million GP in it. Let's drop in another 45 million GP, the most expensive deposit I've done so far. The computer chair has been ordered from Amazon. After a hard day at Vorkath, it's time to AFK and chill and watch my favourite YouTube videos and my favourite Netflix shows. Got 91 runecrafting. The cheap chair arrived after a couple of days, and I immediately went to assemble it because I'm sick of sitting on that box. Look at this. It gave me instructions. Only idiots use instructions. Get out of here. Stupid instructions. So this bit says front with a big arrow, and on this metal plate on the left it says front with an arrow pointing in the opposite direction. I think I put it on backwards. I think I meant, where's those instructions? Stick the piston in, kick the box away, and we've got a brand new chair to sit in. I don't need this little box anymore. You get out of here. Boom. New chair. The box does say it's fragile. I'm a big man, and this is a small chair. I don't think it's going to last very long, but it's better than the box. Now I just need to get a new bed. But that's not happening in this video. We went from sitting on the floor on a cushion with a tiny table and my laptop to this. My new setup, I've got a bunch more surface space. It's all second-hand, dodgy, small furniture, but it's better than the floor, and I can now work on it. I can now begin making this video.